Hey guys, this is Mike from Your Car Dealer Bowman. Thanks for checking it out. Some of you guys that may have been watching content over the last, since the beginning of summer, and may have gotten used to our routine of dropping 2 videos a week. Dropping, if you haven't been watching the video, any of the videos, then maybe you caught the Your Car Dealer podcast. And for about 2 weeks, I've taken a bit of a timeout in all of this rat race. You guys would be absolutely floored with how much is involved. And I'm actually building out the flow chart to show the exact process of what happens bit by bit, partially so that I can start to parse out through different pieces of our infrastructure, different personnel to take that over. But I think it'll be interesting to see it from the standpoint of our viewers, just so you guys can see, in fact, what's involved, and if that's something that you guys think adds value in exchange for the elements that are involved. I can tell you that, obviously you're going to have some type of a hosting account that you're going to end up having all of your podcasts contained on. The videos are a little bit different because you upload them to YouTube and then they are hosted by YouTube. At that point, they stay on YouTube. You can show them in different spots, but the idea is that they're hosted there. With podcasting, it's a little different. You have to pay for your bandwidth. So you've got a certain amount of bandwidth that you are allowed for a certain amount of money. There's a bunch of different podcast hosting companies, and you'd really want to make sure that you get one that this is what they do. Because if they're not a podcast hosting company, let's say they're a website hosting company, the data packages are so different. You're going to be able to get a lot better package from you're going to get a way better package money-wise from a company that hosts podcasts. You could maybe drop 4 or 5 of them a month, and for that matter, you could end up, depending on the length of them, of course, then you end up, paying a certain amount, $15-20. You pay a certain amount for the, for the equipment. You're going to have we haven't gotten really super sophisticated, and I think you definitely could. You could get really, really in depth, and unfortunately, we haven't gotten to that level just yet. And for what we're doing, we may eventually get there. Who knows? It may take a while. But for what the setup that we have right now, I'm doing this on my phone. I've got this little mechanism that holds it in place, and I'm real curious actually to see exactly what this looks like. Today's Wednesday. It's about 5:30. I'm on my way to from the office to my son's flag football game. Anyway, so if you guys have been curious at all, where's the content? What's up? Part of it is I'm going back to analyze it, and in analyzing the content so far, I think I've come up and found something that was somewhat interesting, and that I don't know that continuing on the same path that we were going on is going to make a lot of sense. I was creating content individually for the podcast, the Your Car Dealer podcast, and then I was creating content separately for YouTube videos, and all with the same idea and audience in mind, in terms of used car dealers and used car dealer salesmen. And I just don't know that it's sustainable to do by myself, when at the same time we've got a thriving business. We sell over 100 surety bonds a month. Right now, just that's just California used car dealers. We're selling over 100 a month, and then we've also started to slowly branch out. We've gotten some great traction in YouTube recently. Not in YouTube, I'm sorry. On our website, we have done a ton of SEO work, and unfortunately, full disclosure, I fucked it up. At the beginning, I fucked up pieces of our website that really prevented our website from gaining a lot of traction. And although I haven't fixed the majority of what needs to be fixed, at least I've isolated the issues. We've started to create some silo structures that I think are going to be very valuable for us once we actually institute them properly. But we've definitely gone through the back end and improved our speed on our website. We've performed month over month analytics on the site, and it's performing tremendously better. We've got this thing being audited from a third party that audits the site, and it's probably the site has gone from, and it audits 5 different areas, and it provides a really comprehensive look at performance, at SEO, at your social media connectivity, at your speed performance, and it's looking at each of these categories. And speed, we really turned the corner on that. It started at like a B. We've got like an A+ in that area. We started it on the social media at around a C, C-. We're, I think, up around a A. I don't think we're at an A+. I think we're at an A. Pardon me, I've had a long day, but keep on getting... I've been talking all day too. The other thing is so speed, performance. This is kind of the broken links. It goes and it checks through not only broken links, but it's checking probably 10 to 12 other elements that would affect your site's performance, and really getting down and dirty into figuring out is this a site that's going to be able to perform and pop up as quickly as you'd want it? Is it overloaded with HTML code and short code that's slowing the site down? It really does a great job of going through and trying to figure out these data points, and then it gives you these scores. And it's a really interesting way to see how exactly your site is doing. And our SEO portion of it that it particularly grades, I mean, all of this, it went from basically B's and C-, maybe even I think we had a D+ right between the eyes, and all this is, we're at A- and A+ level bands. And I'll go through and I'll show you guys. I'll put some snapshots up. I just first wanted to at least put out some content to let you guys know, bridge the gap a little bit on where the hell we've been, what we've been doing. And although part of what we've been doing is analyzing what we're going to do and how we're going to move forward, and in what fashion we're going to move forward, how we're going to actually try to hack time a little bit, kind of manage the time and the projects a little bit cleaner. That's part of what I've been trying to get my arms around. And the other thing is, I've been really trying to get my arms around, we've got an intern now that's coming from UEI College, and it's taken some time to get our intern up to speed on, I mean, we're taking her straight from a college environment where her nose is in a book all day long or in a Kindle all day long, sifting through material, and now she's getting thrown to the wolves here in the used car dealer arena, and in particular what we do, we're going after bonds, and in our world we're in a competitive space, and then we're not the actual dealers, but it seems like all of the service providers for the car dealer industry seem like they're quite the space is quite competitive, and I think maybe it's because of the high price point per vehicle that are being sold on some of these lots. I'm not exactly sure, but I think the moral of the story is that we're in a really competitive space, and so her kind of going from an environment where it's just theory to then being pushed into a real world environment where the speed in which we do things is rapid, and we do quite a bit in a day. We're looking at our agency management system, which is very similar to your dealer management system, DMS, which is going to be actually future content in both the video and the podcast. We're going through that. We're going through SEO. We're going through our website. She's helping me re-silo the website because the current structure, as I've been mentioning, is all fucked up. And once I fix some of that stuff, it's going to really pop. But we've done so much of these other pieces to make the website really pop. It's brought on new bond types that we'd never even considered, or we don't write much of, and we've been getting more exposure to. So I say all that to say this, I've gotten my arms full with creating content, within marketing that content, because you can't just create it and put it out there and once it's edited, but then you got to go through, and you're gonna have the other pieces of having to we've got to write bonds. We're in the middle of designing a couple of websites right now, some really beautiful websites for one car dealer and a few other small businesses that are in the area. So we've got our arms tight. We just finished up a logo for a dealer up in Modesto, California. It came out fantastic. He was really happy about it. But we're definitely just keeping busy. We've got some freelance writing assignments that we're doing, and we're also starting up a brand new website that's going to have some really vicious content. You guys are going to love it. It's going to be in a magazine outlay. It's going to be fantastic. You guys are going to love it. But anyway, this is Mike from Your Car Dealer Bond, just connecting with you guys and letting you know I haven't forgot about you guys. They haven't found me yet. They haven't shut me down. You guys take care out there. I definitely will be in touch, and you guys will be in touch soon.